Many countries, such as Australia, has banned the usage of social media for children below the age of 16 years. What exactly are the policy options available to countries like India? Now, social media, on the face of it, is a wonderful application because it connects people of different age, region, religion, etc. on a single platform. Social media's impact on children, the social media is harmful to the children, is with respect to dangerous viral trend. India has already undertaken several measures to protect children from the adverse impact of social media. We know that social media, like any other technology, is a double-edged sword. But does that analogy also extend to usage by children as well? In fact, many countries, such as Australia, has banned the usage of social media for children below the age of 16 years, and other countries are also considering the same. So in today's video, we'll understand what exactly are the harm that is created by social media on children, what are the measures that have been adopted by countries across the world, and finally, what exactly are the policy options available to countries like India. So let us start with this topic. Now, this topic is something that has or that is useful for the perspective of UPSC Civil Services exam, especially when it pertains to General Studies Paper 1, Society. So in GS Paper 1, Society, we have a topic that is impact of globalization on society. And children also are part of society, so therefore we need to understand what exactly is the impact of social media on children. Secondly, it also can be part of GS paper 2, that is part of governance, because when the government will be adopting certain policy options, that would be part of GS paper 2. Also, this topic can be indirectly asked as a part of case study in ethics. So let us now understand what is the impact of social media on different stakeholders. Now, social media, on the face of it, is a wonderful application because it connects people of different age, region, religion, etc. on a single platform. And because of that, it promotes spread of ideas, it promotes people making friends online, and it also grows business and does a lot of good things together. At the same time, it has several challenges that we need to be aware of, and especially why it is so much harmful for children. So let me tell you what exactly are the challenges. So the first thing is algorithmic manipulation. Now we all know that whenever we try to scroll our phones for certain time, we get lost in that time because of the fact that social media is so addictive. Now this addictiveness is not as in a general sense, it is basically has been made as part of the design. And this design is done through what is called as algorithmic manipulation. Now let me tell you what exactly has been done here through the exact code which is written. Now, you need not be a computer science engineer to understand this code. It is simply that if a user has clicked some extreme content, so extreme content can be anything. It could be a violent video. It could be a video where there is some sort of rage baiting happening, all these things. So the social media would be recommending to you a similar kind of content. So this creates what is called as echo chamber effect, that if you have given some sort of preference to a certain kind of video, you will be subjected to similar kind of extreme videos of that nature. This makes the content highly addictive because the algorithm or the social media understand your preferences in a much better sense, and it will keep showing you those content again and again, so that you make like you continue to stay on that platform for as long as it is there, it is necessary. Then it is if your watch time is more than a threshold time. For example, if you want to watch a cooking video and you have watched several of those cooking videos, then the content topic weightage will be given a more substantial weight when it comes to that particular social media. Now, what I'm saying is this, that more often than not, a general person will be able to make that call that yes, we need to stop after watching certain time. But think for a moment, what does it do to a child? Because a child doesn't understand that this content generation is done through a particular program or an algorithm, and that is why this makes this whole process quite addictive. The second aspect of social media's impact on children is that it subjects the children to obscene content and some other kind of manipulation that is extremely dangerous. In fact, there's a growing trend in internet that is called as online grooming. And online grooming essentially means that strangers would pick out children, especially the lonely children, and they would try to manipulate them and show them some acts of kindness initially, and then use them for maybe for sexual purpose or for any other obscene purposes. Now, this is something where this, especially at the level of social media like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, these are the platforms where child grooming is actually happening, right? So again, this is one of the major harmful effect of social media on children. The third important area where the social media is harmful to the children is with respect to dangerous viral trend. You may be aware that recently 3 teenage sisters, they jumped off the building from Ghaziabad, a 9th-story building, because they were not allowed to watch content on their phone. Now, this is the dangerous trend that we are now treading because of the presence of social media. In fact, you may be aware of trends like blackout challenge. So in blackout challenge, children hold their breath as much as possible, and then they post that on social media. There's another trend called devious lick. So in devious lick, students or children go and they destroy the infrastructure of washroom, etc., and then they post it online. So that this is what is happening, that some such trends are now proliferating all across the internet, and children do not want to be left out of this important trend, and that is why they keep pushing for these things. And most of the times, some of this could be harmless, but sometimes it is also quite harmful. In fact, you may be aware about the blue whale trend that was pushing for suicide among children. So these are some of the harmful impact. Apart from that, the internet also, or the social media also leads to other problems as well, including hampering the cognitive process. Now, learning happens through concentration, and social media promotes for instant gratification, especially when we are watching reels. Then our mind is not accustomed to absorbing content that is substantially for a longer duration, say from 30 seconds or 45 seconds. That is why the long-term understanding and the absorption of information becomes quite difficult. Therefore, usage of social media also leads to deterioration in the cognitive process and also in learning outcomes. Then second thing is it leads to anxiety, depression, self-esteem, and emotional self-efficacy, precisely because of the fact that your attention span is less and you attach your moral learnings or ideologies not from your elders or from your teachers, but most of your idealism is coming from what is mentioned or what is being posted online. So you are conforming to an idea, or in fact beauty standards that doesn't exist in real world, but that is manufactured and posted on Instagram. Third, it also not only physical mental health, it also causes poor physical health as well, because it promotes sedentary lifestyle, right? It also leads to eating disorder, usage of fast foods, and unattainable beauty standards. So again, it also leads to mental and physical deterioration of children. Then it reduces face-to-face interaction in a way, so mental issues, physical issues, and also it retards social development, because the face-to-face interaction is in a way compromised when you have someone talking to you through emojis, right? And it also leads to poor development of communication skills. You're not able to read each other's body language, and in fact, all the skills which are required to operate at the social level using the, in fact, the sportsman spirit is also missing when you're not interacting with your peers. Then online safety concerns, as we have discussed, with respect to cyber bullying, and maybe with respect to grooming, online grooming. Then there is pornography that is also available. Then dangerous viral trends, as we have discussed, which includes uh, blackout challenge, or another one is devious lick. So these are some of the viral challenges. Then parental supervision gaps, this happens, and again, this is one of the core characteristics of society. Now we have this dual income household where both father and mother is working, and because of that, there is really limited amount of supervision that parents can impose on the children. Then there are parents who do not have the required understanding of how the social media impacts the psyche, the physical, the mental, and the social conditioning of the children, right? So these are some of the issues. And lastly, we have also discussed about the algorithmic manipulation, that how algorithms play with the mind of these with the children, ensuring that they stay in that social media for as long duration as possible. Now, what is the other countries doing? Because these are the one of the several issues that comes because of social media. Now, the most pertinent or the most talked about initiative has been undertaken by Australia. So Australia has banned social media for children below the age of 16 years. And in fact, the onus of implementation is not on the parents or the children, but it is on the tech companies, right? So this is again a very progressive measure. And at the same time, they have provided for some sort of respite to the educational content so that the children do not miss out on the online platforms, etc., to which will retard their understanding or the learning capacity, right? So this is one intervention taken by a country, that we can ban the social media altogether for children below the age of 16 years. Second, Denmark is also considering a similar kind of ban on social media for users under the age of 15 years, emulating what has been done in Australia. In Germany and France, they have raised age needed for parental consent to open an account. Okay, so earlier the parental consent was, say, 16 years. Now it has been lowered to 13 years. Sorry, the other way around. So from 13, it has been raised to 16 years. Then United States has founded what is called as Kids Online Safety Act to provide protection for children online related to piracy, so especially to privacy and mental health concerns. Then UK has passed Online Safety Act 2023, which has set very tough standards for social media platforms like Facebook, including appropriate age restrictions. And Netherlands and South Korea have banned usage of cell phone in the classrooms. And European Union, of course, has provided with GDPR, that is General Data Protection Regulation. It has required the parental consent for processing of personal data for children under the age of 16. And though member states can lower that limit to 13, that is what Germany and France had done. So earlier it was 16, and now it has been lowered as well, right? So this is what the other countries are doing. Now, for India, the options can be three options. One option can be that India adopts a very tough standard like Australia by completely banning the social media. The second option could be that India adopts a move which is there in line of Netherlands and South Korea, where it would restrict the usage of social media or mobile phones only at home at certain time, right? And not during the classroom. The third approach could be that maybe the social media can be allowed, but it will come with strict parental support or parental verification. Now, apart from that, as of now, India has already undertaken several measures to protect children from the adverse impact of social media. And now some of these measures are Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. It requires the data fiduciaries. Data fiduciaries means the intermediaries like Facebook, Meta, etc., or X, etc., to collect verifiable parental consent for processing personal data of children under 18. This is very much similar to GDPR of EU. So for EU, it is 16 years, but the member states can reduce it to 13 years. So this is very much similar to EU, except the fact that here the age required is under 18, and in EU it is under 16. Then we have section 67B of IT Act. This provides stringent punishment for publishing, transmitting, or viewing everything child sexual abuse material online. So in a way, this prevents online exposure of porn or any explicit material to children, and also subjecting them to some kind of grooming process. The National Action Plan for Children 2016 focuses efforts on preventing crimes against children, especially sexual offenses. Apart from that, we all know that there is POCSO provisions, which provides for stringent punishment against crimes committed against children. Then we have the National Commission for Protection of Child Right, and we have also signed a convention on child protection rights, right? So we have these measures that continue to operate even while we have not taken a stringent decision on banning or banning social media. Now, there are several concerns as well that would arise if we straight away ban social media. Now, what could be those concerns? The first concern is, if we ban anything, right? If we ban anything, we are not removing the altogether demand of that product or service, because ultimately there's an underlying need for that thing. And therefore, the users of that product or service will seek some other way to fulfill their requirement or needs. And that is why for online services, this can go in the realm of deep web, right? So this can go to issues of rising of unsafe spaces, right? For example, if children use deep web or dark web to access social media, that would be very difficult to monitor. Secondly, age verification part will also be very difficult to monitor, because largely it will come via parents, right? And most of this household, they have single phone for usage, on a common usage for all the family members. So again, this implementation part will be very difficult. It can also lead to creation of over-regulation, because it may hamper the child's ability to go and access online education, right? And in a way, it would also stop giving the level playing field that the online education had provided to children. Because for a lot of parents, usage of phone equals to usage of social media, right? So it is very essential that we distinguish that phone usage is not equal to usage of social media only, but there are several other platforms through which you can access online education. In fact, so this part needs to be communicated very clearly, that what is to be banned and what is to be allowed, or in fact encouraged as well, right? So some people also claim that it leads to human rights infringement, because we know that Article 19(1)(a) provides for freedom of speech and expression, and definitely getting information from social media or other platform would constitute this important right. In fact, this is also part of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, right? So these are some of the concerns that can arise out of complete banning of social media for children. Therefore, we must go for some nuanced approach of this particular issue. So what is the way forward? So the first thing that we can do is we can ensure that the digital governance is conducted in a child-centric manner. What it means is that all the stakeholders, government, regulators, tech companies, and parents should be concerned about ensuring that social media purpose should not be to subject children to harm, but to promote their learning abilities, right? So there should be some measures that should come across by sitting together and designing a policy that would be child centric in nature. The second thing is that the redressal mechanism should be strengthened in India, especially with respect to all these harm that we have mentioned, right? So not just the preventive measures. So most of the measures that we have currently are preventive in nature, but we should also have deployment of some of the important redressal mechanisms so that if some crime happens or if some sort of misuse happens, there shall be prompt correctness. Okay, then not only these things, but we should also be providing for awareness. We should also be providing for some sort of capacity building through digital skills and education. In fact, we can use Nipun portal, we can use Diksha platform. All these platforms can help in ensuring that the parents are aware of the ill effects of social media, and children also understand what is good and what is bad, how they should be conducting themselves while using social media. Just like we have sex education, perhaps it is time that we should also promote social media awareness and education. Then Kerala is already doing this, a similar kind of means, which is through Kerala's digital de-addiction measures, where those children or parents or seniors who have been overexposed or overstimulated by social media can come and go for a digital detox and provided with all such support. Awareness build-up is very important. Then parental involvement and control, especially when a child is watching or using any social media, it should come across from, the platform should be an extension of the parents as well, so that they should understand the trend of what the child is consuming. Then this is very important that the accountability should be set for the tech companies. They should not be using their algorithm to maximize views and to ensure that the children are completely addicted to the social media. But there should be some changes in the algorithm as well, so that it doesn't reward rage baiting or involving in some kind of manipulation. So maybe this part is also very important, and this is what GDPR also has some of the measures talked about. So these are some of the way forward that we can mention with respect to social media usage ban for children. So this is a very nuanced topic. We cannot completely ban it, because then we have talked about that it will lead to certain challenges. At the same time, it cannot continue as it is, and therefore we can take a host of these measures to ensure that social media remains a platform for learning for children and not a platform of abuse. Now this is all about today's topic, and I've also given you a practice question. Now this practice question that came from a previous year UPSC question: child cuddling is now being replaced by mobile phones. Discuss its impact on the socialization of children. Okay, so this is about usage of mobile phones, but we all know that most of the times mobile phones are either used for social media or playing video games by children. So how does it impact the socialization of children? Largely, all the challenges that we have discussed can be mentioned as part of the challenges, right? So this is all about today's topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.